So now let's talk a little bit about healthy weight gain during pregnancy. So during pregnancy, weight gain is healthy and natural. And healthy weight gain recommendations are often determined by a mother's pre-pregnancy BMI. So BMI stands for body mass index, which is a tool that is used to compare the amount of weight to the height of a person. So I don't expect you to calculate this, the BMI during this video, but I just want to make sure you know what I'm talking about as I go through the slide. So in the middle of the slide, you'll see a table, and it has the pre-pregnancy weight category, the ideal total weight gain through pregnancy, and the ideal weekly weight gain during the second and third trimester. So I won't go through all of these, but if you are more interested, you can pause the video and take a look at them in further detail. But I'm just going to go through the very top category just so you have an idea of how to read this table. So for the underweight category, which is a BMI of less than 18.5, the ideal total weight gain through pregnancy would be 28 to 40 pounds. And the ideal weekly weight gain during the second and third trimester would be 1 to 1.3 pounds a week. So it's important to remember that weight fluctuates throughout a week. So maybe looking at more of a weekly trend is a better indication of weight gain than looking at like a daily weight. And so why does healthy weight gain matter during pregnancy? So less than ideal weight gain can lead to a higher risk for small for gestational age babies, which means small for small size of birth. And it also increases the risk for preterm births. On the other side, more than ideal weight gain can lead to health problems for both the mother and the baby. More than ideal weight gain can lead to increased risk for large for gestational age babies, which means large size at birth, and increased risk for weight retention of the mother after pregnancy that can lead to further health problems in the future. Another important topic to talk about is food safety and foodborne illnesses during pregnancy. So during pregnancy, both the mother and the fetus are at greater risk of foodborne illnesses. And during pregnancy, it's important to avoid foods that are commonly infected with bacteria such as L. monocytogenes, Toxoplasma gondii, and Salmonella. So Listeria monocytogenes or L. monocytogenes is a bacteria that's found in food, and women who are pregnant have anywhere from 10 to 100 times greater risk of becoming infected with L. monocytogenes than the general population. L. monocytogenes may only cause mild symptoms for the mother, but the bacteria can cross through the placenta and cause harmful or even fatal side effects to the fetus. And then also Toxoplasma gondii or T. gondii is a bacteria found in food as well. And a mother can pass the infection from T. gondii onto their child once infected. And the infection of the child or fetus can cause harmful side effects such as mental retardation and blindness. This bacteria is often found in raw or undercooked meats or shellfish, raw vegetables, contaminated water, and can also be spread through a process called cross-contamination, where say if you have like a piece of chicken that's not cooked, it's raw, and it comes into contact with like some broccoli that you're going to chop up and put in like a salad. If that poultry touches that the broccoli, and then the broccoli is not cooked before you eat it, the bacteria from the chicken can go over to the broccoli, and then that can get you sick, and that's called cross-contamination. Cats are also a common animal that can also be infected by this bacteria, and their feces can spread the bacteria onto a person. So during pregnancy, it's important to continue washing your hands and having good hand hygiene, and also making sure not to touch cat feces or like clean the litter box during pregnancy. And another important thing to talk about with that is making sure that any fruits and vegetables that you eat are washed off before you consume them. Even stuff from like your personal garden, because you never know when you never know what's going through your garden, and maybe like even if you don't own a cat, there could be a cat that runs through the garden and gets maybe feces or something on the food. So making sure you wash all of your produce before you eat it. And then salmonella is one of the more well-known causes of foodborne illness, and this can happen at any stage in life. But serious illness is more likely to happen in those with a weakened immune system, such as during pregnancy. So common sources of salmonella are sprouts, eggs, chicken, pork, fruit, contaminated or processed foods such as nut butters, frozen pot pies, and then chicken nuggets are some examples. And then also contact with infected animals or humans can also spread this bacteria onto someone else. So during pregnancy, working to avoid foods likely to spread foodborne illness, such as raw juices and milks, raw deli meats, raw hot dogs, smoked fish, soft cheeses, unless the cheese is marked as pasteurized, and raw or lightly cooked sprouts and sushi. So soft cheeses could be like queso blanco, fresco. It could be panela, brie, camembert, blue vein cheese, or feta as some examples. Sprouts can include like alfalfa, radish sprouts, clover sprouts, or mung bean roots as some examples of that. If you do choose to consume sprouts, making sure that they're thoroughly cooked so that they're safe to eat. And then cold cuts, deli meats, and hot dogs should not be eaten raw, but instead cooked to an internal temperature of 165 degrees Fahrenheit or until they're steaming hot. And then cold smoked fish typically must be refrigerated for storage and has a increased risk to infect a person. So if choosing to consume processed fish products, it's advised to go with a more shelf stable option such as canned fish. And then making sure to avoid raw, unpasteurized milk from cows, goats, any like mammal that we get milk from, and any products that are made with it, such as soft cheeses, yogurt, ice cream. And this slide here talks a little bit more about food safety during pregnancy. So continue using proper hand hygiene and food safety techniques during pregnancy. So some examples of hand hygiene would be washing your hands before and after preparing meals, ensuring you also wash your hands as you switch from one type of raw meat to another, or from raw meat to fresh and ready to eat foods. Washing your hands as you go through the day after using the restroom, and after dirtying your hands by taking out the trash or doing something unsanitary, after sneezing or after touching an animal, as some examples. Work to avoid cross-contamination by storing and preparing ready-to-eat foods and items such as raw meat and poultry separate from each other. And then make sure you, again, wash off all produce before consuming them. And then check your fridge and freezer to ensure that they're at the temperatures. Not a lot of people do this, but I think it's important to check and make sure that they are at the right temperature to help make sure your food is staying safe while it's in there. So fridges should be at or below 40 degrees Fahrenheit, and freezers should be at or below 0 degrees Fahrenheit. And then only consume meats, poultry, eggs, and fish or seafood products that are cooked to a safe temperature. So using a meat thermometer is the safest and most accurate way to ensure food reaches the correct internal temperature, and so that way it's safe to eat. And when going out to eat at restaurants, be sure to choose the well done option. And make sure you refrigerate perishable foods within 2 hours. Perishable foods such as leftovers or milk should be in the fridge at a safe temperature within the 2-hour time frame. And when the air temperature is above 90 degrees Fahrenheit, such as in a hot car during the summer, making sure the food gets into the fridge to a safe temperature within 1 hour.